Hello to everyone. It's Grandpa Hickory saying hello to you, and I hope you have your coffee. I got mine. I thought I would make a video. I do every morning to let you kind of know what's going on over here in Texas. We got cloudy skies, and they said we got more rain coming. And you know what? I'm glad. I really am. I'm glad. You have your coffee, I hope. I'm enjoying mine. Um, you know, do you remember? I'm speaking to people that are retired, you that are up in years. Do you remember when we used to go to work and they would come around and bring our check to us? They had this box and it had a strap around it that they had over their neck and their shoulders, and they would carry it, and they would come to you and they'd say, "Hey, do you want cash or do you want your check?" And if you said you wanted cash, then they gave you the check and you signed it, gave it back to them, and then they counted out the cash to you. Do you remember those days? I do. Do you remember when we used to have Christmas parties at work and all the management, the upper management and everything, they paid for everything. All the meats. We had huge barbecue brisket, Polish sausage, big, huge baked potatoes, and big, huge things of, barbecue beans. And you had your choice of the mustard potato salad or the mayonnaise potato salad. And they also had baked potatoes. And I never will forget it. It was wonderful. It was just, things were different back then. I'm speaking of back in the 1960s. Every November that came around, they would give you a turkey. Remember that? Big old 20, 22 pound, 24 pound turkeys. They'd come around and give that to everybody. And then they gave them a Christmas bonus. And sometimes it was like $100. Sometimes it was even more than that. And then, now this is at Christmas. Thanksgiving was a huge turkey. I mean, a big one. And they gave you a gift certificate also for your wife to buy, Thanksgiving other things like to make fruit salad, dressing, and all that other. But it was so nice of them. I never will forget that. And then at Christmas time, like I said, they came around and gave us a turkey and a ham at Christmas. Big old huge hams with the bones inside of them. I mean, these were real hams. These weren't these things you buy nowadays that are pumped full of chemicals. And but we had big old Christmas hams and big old turkeys. And they also gave us the Christmas bonus, which was 100 on up. Some of them were pretty big. And it's a higher in rank that you were. You got more. Always, naturally. But I was just thinking about that today. The young people nowadays, I'm speaking to you, the 20s and 30 years olds. I have quite a few of them in my audience. And thank you very much for tuning into my videos. I've read a lot of your comments, and I think you people are extremely intelligent, and I believe that you're going to make it. And I'm praying that Donald Trump gets in there and turns this country around, and America gets back on the right track, and that pensions come back for our children and grandchildren and you wonderful people that are in your 20s and 30s. But I know that they don't have anything for you. The greedy corporate people, they did away with all pensions and told you that everybody that's receiving pensions are old people that are no good, and all they were was just a bunch of gimmies. No, the CEOs and the top management are the gimmies, and they're the knives in the back. We all know this. I don't even have to tell you. You've worked for them. I know I did. Unfortunately, they all died off by the end of the 60s. And the new cats in town came in with a whole different agenda and mindset. And they come in with this change is good. Remember that? Because they knew that it irritated elderly people to come in and change things. So they started all kinds of diversity courses and classes you had to take too. Of course, if you was a minority, you didn't have to take it. Only white people did. And then they started forcing all their liberal Democrat views on us. And then they would come around election time and tell us, be sure and vote Democrat because the Democrats are for the working man. No, they're not for the working man. The Democrats have done nothing but lie every step of the way for the past 80 years. How many dead people have voted for Democrats? For the past 80 years, deceased people have been found to be voting for Democrats. Okay? How many dead people voted for Republicans? None. Zero. And that lie that they were for the working man, that's the biggest joke on earth. Biggest joke on earth. They invaded our unions and turned them into where they were nothing but sellouts. They made deals under the table and did away with all. Well, you young people know it now. You don't have any working rights anymore. You don't have a pension. And they shoved the scam on everybody and said, get a 401k, get a 401k. Yeah, you do that. When you retire like I have, then you find out that they take 87% of your 401k. Did you hear what I said? 87%. I know. I'm there. I know all about it. You say, no, they don't take that much. Yes, they do. Listen, they charge you fees for everything you get. When you get your money that they send you, because the government wants to take their tax out, which is nearly 50%, well, the people holding your money, oh, they're taking good care of you. They're getting fees. So by the time you get through with it, you look at it, and they've got 87% of your entire 401k. It's a scam, people. Just like the reverse mortgage was nothing but a scam in order to get your grandmothers and your grandfathers and your moms and your dads are up in years to scam them out of their houses. It's the biggest scam on earth. Now, when it first started, Ronald Reagan even endorsed it. He was all for it because it was good, it was decent. But these other people that are in power in Washington, D.C., I'm not allowed to talk about them, not allowed to say anything bad about them, but they changed everything. They changed it all. They come in with their hands out and said, how much you going to pay us to pass laws to change all this so that you can scam these people? People, this kind of stuff's been going on. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered in your mind, I heard on the radio this morning, the morning team, I love them on 8:20 a.m. I listen to them every morning. I have for, over 40-something years, and I love these people. But they were talking about how that, it's the money situation. What was they talking about? I've got 3 different things that they were talking about I wanted to talk about. But what was it? You know what? I can't remember what they were talking about. There's 3 different things, and I got all excited about it, and my mind's on something else that they were talking about. They talked about so much. Well, yes, it is. I got it. I remember there's 3 different things that they touched on that really I got enthused about and excited about. But have you ever wondered why? They were talking about the Democrats that they got $200 and something million, but they poured in for Kamala Harris's election, for her political, whatever you call it. I call it a bunch of nonsense. You know, our forefathers that founded this country, they didn't have to have millions of dollars to run to be elected for president. is it that they have to have hundreds of millions of dollars to run for president? Have you ever thought about that? You say, well, press coverage, and they get free press coverage anyway. They always have. They always have. I mean, just think about it. And then we elect officials. I've touched on this before. They were talking about it again. That's the second thing, is that we vote politicians in, the ones we won't stand for us, and they're going to stand for us, they're going to fight for us. They go up there, and here come the bribers, the lobbyists, shelling out the money to them. Shelling out the money. Next thing you know, they're bought out, and they're a swamp creature. American politics needs to go back to the U.S. Constitution, back to the old ways, the way it's supposed to be done, and we need term limits. I heard them talking in Congress, we got to have term limits, we got to have term limits, but yet they never do it. They just talk that to get you to vote them in. Oh boy, they're finally going to do this. They're going to stand for the American people. They get in there, they forget all about it. They don't want to limit themselves. Man, they're making more money than they've ever made in their life. Look at the Biden family. Look how many hundreds of millions of dollars Chuck Schumer's got. Look at Nancy Pelosi and her husband, over $300 million. Where did they get this money, people? Insider trading. And the bribers, the lobbyists, paying them money to pass laws against the American people, tying our hands up where we can't do anything, and taking more and more money out of our pockets where we don't even have nothing. And our children suffer, our grandchildren suffer, our great-grandchildren suffer. You people that in your 20s and 30s, you are reaping 80 years of what the Democrat agenda set itself out to do over 80 years ago. And they're not through destroying everything. That's why our borders are wide open. We're overrun. And I heard them talking this morning, Mike Johnson and them were talking about there's a terrorist attack that's going to be happening very soon in the United States of America. They were talking about it. They were warning of it because the borders have been wide open. And then they were talking, on the news, on the morning team, they were discussing things about how that this is the way that they can declare martial law. I guess it's their whole plan all along. Then they can come in and they can start eliminating anybody that knows anything about the Constitution of the United States of America, anybody that votes Republican, and anybody that is against what they want to do. If you lay down and let them run over you, you might get to live a little bit longer until they say you no longer live. Just like Hillary Clinton, she was going to start that euthanasia of the elderly people. When you reach a certain age, you were to be taken to a little place. They had a little gurney in there, and they come in there and you got a little bitty thing of water and a little paper thing that had one blue pill in it. Then you took the blue pill and you drank the water, and they made sure you swallowed it. Then they went outside the room and they locked it, and these were big FEMA places that they were having built all across the United States so they could bring this in when Hillary Clinton became president. These were all these plans. Remember her talking about it? I do. Can't find it anywhere now. The media don't want you knowing anything about that. So, people, it's a shame. I know many 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds. I get a lot of comments from them about what they're going through and all this. And I tell you, it's a crying shame. It's a crying shame what they have done to the youth of America, how they have cheated them. It's a crying shame. But listen, you enjoy your coffee. I'm going to enjoy mine. And you people have a nice day. We've got more rain coming here to Texas, thank God. I got to walk this morning, and it was so nice. It was foggy, and it was cloudy, and I didn't have to sweat real bad like I do when it's 90-something degrees out there. Oh, I tell you, I don't like the heat. I just don't do well. But listen, you have a good day. Please hit the like button. I'm inviting you to subscribe to my channel. and hello to all. I appreciate all you wonderful people. You have a good day. Bye for now.